Hi everyone, my name is Jacqueline Marquez, and together with my group mates Camila Jean Racal, Jerson Eve Barrete, Francis Anthony Pahati, and Denise Hontelano, we're going to explore a topic that's becoming increasingly important in both the tech world and the business world. It's data privacy. We're also going to discuss its legal and ethical impacts. To begin, data privacy is the right of individuals to determine how their personal information is collected, used, shared, and stored. Personal data includes a wide range of information such as names, addresses, phone numbers, email addresses, purchasing behavior, financial records, medical histories, biometric identifiers like fingerprints or facial scans, and even real-time GPS locations. This information, when mishandled, can reveal sensitive insights about a person's identity, behavior, health, and even preferences. With the emerging technologies, the volume of complexity of data that businesses collect has grown exponentially. Technologies like big data analytics allow companies to analyze vast amount of customer behavior and trends. Artificial intelligence systems use personalized data to make automated decisions in areas like hiring, lending, and customer service. Internet of Things devices from smart home system to wearable fitness trackers collect data in real time. Additionally, e-health platforms and telemedicine services gather highly sensitive medical information to deliver remote care. While this help with innovation and improve services, it also creates serious risk like unauthorized surveillance, data leaks, identity theft, and unfair profiling. Now, to manage this risk, several legal frameworks have been created, and that are number one, the General Data Protection Regulation in European Union, Healthcare Insurance Portability and Accountability Act in the US, and India's Digital Personal Data Protection Act, which is still being finalized. And so, with these laws are meant to manage data, but it's not just about laws. There are ethical responsibilities too. This includes ensuring informed consent, respecting user autonomy, and using data fairly without taking advantage of individuals. Together, legal and ethical practices form the foundation of responsible data use.
Thank you, Jacqueline. So let's dive to legal and ethical issues. The objective is to evaluate the pros and cons of the legal ramifications. Legal issues. Let's start with the legal side. One of the biggest legal risks companies face today is data breaches. Cases like ChoicePoint and TJX are prime examples. These companies failed to properly secure sensitive customer data. The consequences: massive identity theft incidents, a huge loss of public trust, a significant legal blowback. They were hit with lawsuits, regulatory fines, and even had to overhaul their entire compliance structures. Next, there's the issue of cross-border data transfer. Many global companies rely on data centers and third-party processors in different countries, but laws like the General Data Protection Regulation or GDPR place strict limits on how data can leave the European Union. So now, businesses need complex legal agreements and must navigate different national laws just to operate smoothly across borders. A third issue is a regulatory uncertainty. Take India's Digital Personal Data Protection Act. It has been passed, but the actual enforcement mechanisms and rules are still in the works. This leaves company in limbo. They know they need to comply, but without clear guidance, they're hesitant to invest heavily in new systems. Lastly, there's inconsistent enforcement. Some countries have data privacy laws on the books, but they're not enforced consistently. This creates a dangerous imbalance. Some companies cut corners and avoid accountability, while others who play by the rules are left at a disadvantage. It also means users don't always have their rights truly protected, depending on where they live. Now let's look at the ethical challenges, because even when laws are followed, that doesn't always mean what's being done is right. One of the biggest concerns is lack of transparency. Many companies collect vast amounts of personal data, yet users rarely know what's being collected, how it's used, or who it's shared with. Most people click I agree without reading the fine print, simply because they have no choice if they want to use the service. Then there's bias and discrimination. Algorithms, especially in AI and machine learning, can unintentionally reflect and amplify societal biases that can lead to unfair outcomes in critical areas like job recruitment, loan approvals, and even policing. When technology makes decisions that affect real lives, fairness and accountability are non negotiable. Another issue is surveillance and monetization. Many companies track user behavior online, monitoring clicks, searches, even location, and then sell that information to advertisers or data brokers. Often this happens without clear of meaningful consent. It's profitable, yes, but it can feel invasive and exploitative. And finally, some organizations treat ethics as just a checkbox, something to check off to avoid bad PR, rather than a genuine commitment to people's rights and dignity. That's why strong laws are important, but they're not enough on their own. What's really needed is a shift in mindset where companies prioritize ethical values, not just legal compliance. So, overall, while legal frameworks provide structure and consequences, it's the ethical compass of organizations that truly determines whether they respect individual rights. A balance between robust laws and responsible behavior is the key to building long term trust in today's data driven world.
We are now in the evaluation of pros and cons of emerging technologies based on the legal and ethical frame. So, how effective are these laws really? Let's start with the pros. They create accountability. Laws like GDPR force companies to document their data handling practices, improving transparency. They protect consumers. Users can request access to their data, correct errors, or even delete it entirely. This empowers individuals and gives them greater control. They build trust. Customers are more likely to engage with businesses that take privacy seriously, which is good for reputation and long term loyalty. Legal frameworks are also provided, a uniform standard, especially in regions with strong enforcement like European Union. But there are also cons. These laws can be complex and costly to implement, particularly for small businesses that may lack legal expertise or IT infrastructure. Some organizations follow the rules on paper but lack real commitment. This leads to superficial compliance, where privacy is treated as a checkbox. There's also uneven enforcement. In some regions, regulators may not have the resources or authority to hold companies accountable, which reduces the law's impact. And finally, laws can struggle to keep up with fast evolving technologies. For example, many existing regulations don't yet address ethical concerns around generative AI or data collected from wearable tech. So, in conclusion, while legal frameworks like GDPR offer significant advantages, including increased accountability, better consumer protection, enhanced trust, and uniform standard for privacy, they also come with notable drawbacks. The complexity and cost of compliance can be burdensome for smaller businesses, and some companies may only comply on a superficial level without genuine commitment to privacy. Additionally, uneven enforcement across regions and the inability of laws to keep pace with the rapidly advancing technology, such as generative AI or wearable tech data, pose challenges. While privacy laws are critical foundation, they need to be paired with ethical business, culture, and modern technology to be truly effective. Overall, while these laws are a step in the right direction, they have limitations that need to be addressed to ensure their effectiveness.
Now let's apply these ideas to real-world examples. For instance, Meta was fined over €1 billion under GDPR for failing to obtain proper consent before transferring EU user data to the US. This shows how important and clear lawful data practices are in a global environment. On the positive side, Dubai's e-health system has been praised for its privacy-centered design. Survey shows users trust the system, even though legal protections are limited because healthcare providers prioritize professionalism and ethical handling of data. Regulations like the GDPR also require data protection impact assessments. These are structured evaluations that help businesses assess and reduce privacy risks before launching new technologies. Ethical principles like do no harm and privacy by design should be part of every new product or system. This means designing systems with privacy safeguards built in from the start. As best practices, we recommend homomorphic encryption, which allows data to be processed while still encrypted. Next is privacy vaults, secure storage systems that separate sensitive information from general databases. Last is regular ethical impact assessments, which is to evaluate fairness, consent, and risk in data use. These tools help businesses innovate without compromising trust or legality. Now, to wrap things up, my team member Denise will walk you through our final slide, which is the conclusion.
Objective: emphasize the need for privacy as a business enabler, not just a barrier. And to wrap things up, data privacy is no longer just a legal requirement. It is a business necessity. Organizations that respect privacy don't just avoid penalties. They build stronger relationships with customers, protect their brand, and foster ethical cultures that lead to long-term success. Our key recommendations are: 1. Go beyond just complying with laws. Embed ethics into your business strategy. 2. Invest in privacy-focused technologies like encryption and data vaults. 3. Push for public awareness, clear rules, and corporate transparency across industries. Let us remember that as technology continues to evolve, so must our approach to data privacy. The goal is to balance innovation with protection and compliance with care. And while we've talked about laws and ethics, it's also important to recognize how emerging digital technologies themselves are reshaping the privacy landscape. From AI and biometrics to IoT and big data systems, businesses now operate in an ecosystem where data is not just collected, it's actively shared, monetized, and analyzed. But with that comes a responsibility. Every innovation can either build trust or break it. As the research shows, companies like Apple use privacy by design as a competitive advantage, while others like Meta have faced massive fines and backlash due to poor data handling. These cases remind us that privacy laws are not just rules, they're guardrails for ethical innovation. So, moving forward, businesses must not only comply with legal frameworks like GDPR, HIPAA, or India's DPDP Act. They must also consider how their digital strategies impact user autonomy, transparency, and trust. In short, data privacy isn't just a legal checkbox. It's a strategic foundation for sustainable business in the digital age. Let's keep privacy at the core of how we innovate, operate, and lead. Thank you all for listening to our presentation. We hope it gave you a clearer understanding of why data privacy matters and how it impacts businesses today. If you have any questions, we'd be happy to answer them.